Most of you would have seen this by now, which is the Deeper Pro Plus, and it's sort of like the top of the range castable sonar that Deeper produce, and it doesn't really take a lot of introduction. You would have definitely seen it by now, and it's a fantastic tool. Now, this you may not have seen. This is the Deeper Start. I actually don't even think it's available in the UK yet, but it will be very soon, and I believe there's only a handful of us who've actually got our hands on one so far. Now, apart from the obvious difference in the shape and the colouring and things like that, there is a couple of major differences that may affect you and your choice on what you might choose to buy. The Deeper Pro Plus, I think, is a range of up to 80 metres. So for a lot of people who want to map at range, this is the sort of product you're going to be looking at. The Deeper Start is a little bit less range, anything up to 50 metres. Now, for me and my angling, I fish a lot of small lakes. It's intimate. There's no big chucks needed. You know, a lot of the swims are almost underarming distance, so I don't need 80 metres casting range. it just is overgun for what I need. The other difference is the weight. I think the Deeper Pro Plus is 3, maybe 3.5 ounce, and the Deeper is like an ounce less. So again, you know, if you're not going to be casting over 50 metres, which you're not going to be with the Deeper Start, 2.5 ounces is more than adequate. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to put them on a rod, and I've picked a swim on a lake that I fish quite regularly, and I feel like I sort of know it. I've never put a sonar through it. I've actually never even put a marker rod through it. Most of my fishing here has just been sort of fishing to visible markers like lily pads and reeds and things like that. But just for a matter of interest, we're going to put these through, both of these products through the swim, compare the results and see how close they are to each other and how I think I could use them in my own angling. Right, so I've got the Deeper Pro Plus set up on my spod rod. All I've done is just looped it onto the little brass eyelet there, and we're going to put this through, and then we'll swap over, put the Deeper Start on, and sort of compare the results. I don't expect to sort of find too much in the way of depth deviations or features on the bottom here. I know this lake's pretty flat, but the point of this really is to compare the two products and see how they offer up against each other, and whether I think that the Deeper Pro Plus would offer me any benefits in this situation. So we'll give it a cast across now, and we'll see what we come up with. There you go. Right. Give it a second. Right, that's it. That's the Deeper Pro Plus connected. So what we're in sort of 6.5-ish foot there. Just take up the slack in my line. Now it is showing a few fish signals and things like that, and fish markers. I'm not going to pay too much attention to that, and I've actually turned off the fish alarm. There's a lot of brain, a lot of tension here, and some of them are quite big, so I'm not really looking for fish with this in this particular lake. I can see advantages to it, especially if you're going to be sort of zig fishing or things like that. You can find what depth the fish are sitting at. But for now, and for this lake in particular, all I'm doing is just to sort of have a look at the bottom and see the depth I'm fishing in, really. And it's slowly coming up. Like I said, it's not going to be sort of major depth deviations or humps and bumps. But you know, in maybe 20 yards, 10 yards, we've gone from 6.5 foot to 6 foot. So there's this real slow incline. I know the bottom here is fairly clean. You get the odd patch of deeper silt and little bits of weed, but it's nothing really noticeable. So just crept under the 6 foot, so we're up to 5.9 now, 5.8. I'm going to creep right back to the bank because the margins here are quite deep, so it's worth creeping it right back in. As you can see, we're still getting that incline coming up and getting shallower, albeit very shallow, very slow incline. So we're up to about 5 foot now, so from right out where the pads are to perhaps half a rod length off the tip of my rod, we've only come up 1.5 foot. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to walk backwards and just walk the Pro Plus right into the margin and get a reading right into the edge. And there we go, that's right into the margin. As you see, you get that little slope coming up. But even then, I'm perhaps a foot and a half off the margin there. I'm still in sort of 3.5 foot, so I'd be more than happy to put a bait down there. Right, so that's that. We're going to take the Pro Plus off now, and I'll get the start out and we'll give that a go and on. Right, well, that's the Deeper Start all clipped on and ready to be cast out. It's worth noting at this point that both of these Deeper products, the Pro Plus and the Start, connect in the same way. They both connect via Wi-Fi. So even at sort of the limits of the range, which is 50 metres with a start and 80 metres with a Pro Plus, you still get a nice, clean and strong connection, and it doesn't tend to drop out. To maximise that though, you are much better off to turn off your mobile data. That interferes with the Wi-Fi signal, and with it off you tend to keep your connection a lot cleaner and a lot better. Right, so we're going to ping the deeper start out now, and then we'll compare the results. Right, like I said, I've clipped that up to a set of pads out in front of me, so we're at exactly the same place. So straight away you can see there's a difference in the way it shows up on the screen. With the Deeper Pro Plus you get that detailed findings. With the Start you get a more basic view. You still get the fish icons and the alarms if you wish to turn them on, but you don't get the detailed view you get with the Pro Plus. But you know, 6.8 foot, you know, I might be a foot off of where I cast, so yeah, that's pretty accurate, and they're similar at the moment. So let's creep it back in the same way we did with the Pro Plus and sort of compare any differences. Pick up the slack. I'm going to clip it nice and slow. So still at 6.8, 6.6. You can see a few little bumps and lumps even in this basic view, and what you were seeing on the Pro Plus, the little green bits of silt and raised weed, is probably what you're seeing here with those tiny little deviations in the basic view. So, I mean, initially, my initial reaction to the Start is it does tend to retrieve a lot smoother than the Pro Plus, but in the shape of it, it sits a bit higher in the water, and it comes across the surface a bit easier than the Pro Plus. So we're going to creep it back up, and there we're about up to 6 foot again there, and you're starting to see a few of those little small deviations. If you're just using it for depth finding and for finding features, there really isn't too much difference. It all depends on what you want from the products really, and what you aim to gain from it. So there we are, up to about 5.5 foot again. So I'm going to do the same as I did before. I'm about half a rod length off the tip of my rod. I'm just going to walk back, and as you can see, it is still showing fish icons, the same as the Pro Plus. So I'll walk it straight back into the margin, and then you'll get that incline as it comes back up. And there we are, back to where we was with the Pro Plus, sitting at about 3.5 foot of water right in the margin, and you can see that slope of the margin shelf there. So initial thoughts, there's not a lot of difference really. It all depends on what you want to get from the product. Something like for me, where I'm fishing on a fairly clean bottom lake, I'm not looking for weed, I'm not looking for anything like that. I might just be looking for really small deviations, small bars, small holes, things like that. I can't see that I'm going to need anything more than a Deeper Start. It does everything that you need for that sort of fishing. Like I say, if you do want to use it as a fish finder with the fish icons, the option's there as well. For this particular lake, like I said, it doesn't really apply because there's a lot of big tench, a lot of big bream. You're never going to be sure that you're going to be marking up carp. But if you're fishing in water that's predominantly carp, then you will, you know, it will find those fish for you. And like I said, for me, if I was zigging or zig fishing and I wanted to find a depth to fish her at, invaluable. Saves guesswork, saves spending hours trying to chop and change things and finding the depth they're sitting at. So yeah, really impressed so far. I'm going to carry on using these throughout the day and see how I get on, but like I say, my initial response, if you're going to be fishing small waters and you don't need the extra range of the Pro Plus, and you know the basic view is more than good enough for what you need, I really would suggest having a look at the Deeper Start.